Alright, so let's run this jar and make sure that things are working as expected. Open up IntelliJ, and in here, open up the terminal. And what I want you to do is to cd into, so in here, I'm in the root of the demo folder. I'm going to cd into target. And if I type ls or dir if you're on Windows, you can see that we have this jar file. Now I'm going to say java and then -jar and then demo. So basically now we're not running through IntelliJ and we are running this jar right here. So now if I press enter, so you can see that this should be familiar to you. There we go. My font is actually quite big. So let me see if I can remove the wrapping. But essentially you can see that we have Tomcat started on port 8080. So if I open up my web browser, so here, remember before 8080, and now if I refresh, you can see that this is working. So this is beautifully. So now I can even access the API as well. So here you can see that this works and we are good to go. So let me just show you once more. So if I go back to localhost 8080, this is working. If I refresh, you can see that this is working nice. So now we have bundled both the backend and frontend into a single jar, and it's up and running fine, which means that from this point onwards, we can proceed to these other steps in order to deploy the application. But first, what I want to show you is here, if I cancel this and then go back, reload, you can see that this won't work, right? So what I want to show you is profiles. So basically, what I want to show you next is the profile that we have defined within the pom.xml. So if I collapse this, and then if I scroll up, in here, you can see that we have profiles and then build frontend. Now here, what I want to do is open up Maven, and you can see that we have profiles, and this is our profile. So this is actually checked by default, which means that if for any reason you want to run Maven clean install without bundling up the front end, you can do it. All you got to do is just disable this and then run your Maven build, and then the front end will not be bundled. But in my case, or in our case, we want every time that we build, we want the front end to be bundled. So basically we want to copy it within this resources and then static, and then that will end up inside of this target folder and the classes and then static. So I just wanted to mention this profiles here, which is really interesting. And that's the reason why I've done it like this. So including profiles, and in case you want to disable it, you can do it. So now that we have this jar file that contains both the backend and front end, so everything is bundled up, we can now build a Docker image from this jar. And that's what we're going to learn how to do in the next section. If you have any questions on what we've covered in this section using this plugin right here, so front-end Maven plugin, as well as copying the resources using Maven resource plugin, please do let me know. But you can find all of this XML under the description of this video so that everything works as expected. And it shouldn't really be that difficult as you saw. But again, if you have any questions, drop me a message.